Welcome. My name's Carl Mollison and I'm a board-certified hypnotist. Are you a worrier? Do you have too much anger in your life? Are you avoiding things you need to do? Have self-doubts? What about fears? What may happen? That's good. You're human. Almost everyone has unwanted thoughts and feelings getting in their way sometime or other, whether they're dealing with school, work, or relationship issues. And the simple reason is that painful experiences can leave a scar that doesn't heal. And now there's a breakthrough technique that provides a simple solution that works for all ages. And this changes everything in how you should think about using your mind to help your health, well-being, and happiness. It applies to you, to everyone in your family, and to everyone you know. When you have unpleasant thoughts and feelings, they're just the tip of an iceberg. They're the echo of stored negative emotion from a stressful experience in your past. Would you like to have a do-over for some of the bad times in your life? We've all had that fantasy. If I could just go back and prevent that. If I only knew then what I know now, what a difference it would make. Well, what if I told you that there is now a way to use the power of your mind to rewrite your personal history and change your well-being and happiness? A way that's quick, that's easy to do, and can even be facilitated in sessions done right over the phone. Imagine the possibilities. This breakthrough is called Holographic Memory Resolution, and it'll help you break free of habitual fears, sadness, worries, anger, any other unwanted feelings. This same powerful technique, which has helped 9/11 rescuers, Oklahoma City bombing survivors, and victims of the most severe sexual, physical, or emotional abuse to deal with their post-traumatic stress, can be used for ordinary people with ordinary problems, the whole spectrum. It was developed by Brent Baum through work with over 12,000 trauma survivors. And I'm trained and certified by Brent Baum as a practitioner of holographic memory resolution, HMR for short. Here's how it works. Emotions get the best of us because the mind stores memories like a hologram. A memory is like a piece of the original experience the mind can use to reproduce it. So you can replay it in your head. You may even be able to see it happening again in your mind's eye. Well, when bad things happen, the stored memory has two parts to it. What you witnessed, or the facts of the case, and the unpleasant feelings the event caused. It's that stored emotion that's the problem, the physical part of that hologram. Whenever you're in a similar situation again, the subconscious mind recreates and has you re-experience those feelings over and over again as a warning that's usually long out of date. This is a normal part of the fight or flight response, but it undermines your happiness and punishes your body with stress. It's literally overkill. Your subconscious never forgets and never lets go. Breakthrough research has recently identified a natural mechanism of the mind for self-healing that exploits a property of long-term memory called reconsolidation. It opens a window of time with the possibility of change, and I believe that's what HMR taps into. Here's a simple example of what can happen. A client who rose to a high corporate level was terrified of speaking at high-powered meetings. He would sweat. His legs would tremble visibly as he entered the room. He'd forget what he needed to say in the middle of his talk unless he had everything written out. But with guided imagery, he recalled a long-forgotten experience when he was only 6 years old, playing with neighborhood kids at his grandma's. They made a game of climbing up a high garden wall and jumping off. But he was too afraid. They were all much older. But even so, he was teased and shamed by their remarks. And the more afraid he became, the higher the wall seemed. using HMR to go back as his adult self, changing that scene in his mind and doing a brief healing step, resolved that memory and gave him back his self-confidence. For 50 years, having to perform in front of anyone who might have been older, wiser, or more powerful, like the boss or even colleagues he competed with, stirred up the old fears, even though consciously he didn't know why he had the problem. His subconscious was still afraid to make that leap until he did HMR. Using HMR and other powerful techniques, you can go back with the help of guided imagery to rewrite your history, and it will release the old stored emotion you have, like letting air out of a balloon. Then you can still remember you had a bad experience, but the pain of it will have been drained away, so you can recall and talk about it without emotion. And best of all, you can face new situations without old anger, doubt, or fear creeping in. A client suffering from an unhappy marriage with many complaints about her husband during HMR went back to when she was 2 years old and remembered how she suffered because she wasn't listened to, was blamed unfairly and punished severely by her father. Her subconscious knew there were many later times too, down through the years. Her husband never came up during the process. Her real problems were all due to those issues long ago. HMR allows clearing whole groups of similar experiences during a session, so even severe, repeated bad experiences can be dealt with efficiently. And that's what I did for that client. HMR is a gentle technique that doesn't require reliving the episode. During guided imagery, you reconnect with past experiences more as an observer in a calm, relaxed frame of mind. Then you can heal them and can move on. HMR is rapid and gives relief right away. And that's important because the main reason people won't seek help is to avoid getting their feelings stirred up by talking about the past. HMR is a self-healing process that allows you to heal as you go. HMR doesn't require sharing all the details of a recalled experience in order to resolve it. So it can even be used for situations too uncomfortable to share with someone else. HMR can work for anyone. It's valid and highly effective because it's a client-centered process. The connections are all made by your subconscious mind, not by me having to figure you out. It's not psychotherapy. It'll work even if you don't know why you're unhappy. My clients often have no real idea why they're suffering and are frequently surprised by the memories they connect to and resolve is the key to solving their problem. But believe me, your subconscious knows why it's unhappy, even if you don't. The process of clearing is the same whether the memory is fresh from a recent event or reaches back to earliest childhood. Our clients are amazed at how easy it is. Because each session resolves one or more memories, progress is steady and cumulative. You will feel relief beginning with the very first session. In a phone HMR session, a client focusing on her feelings about having heart symptoms that mystified her doctors recalled when she was 9 in 3rd grade when her best friend announced she no longer wanted to be friends with her. She was devastated at the time. After resolving the memory of this episode with HMR, she realized her heart symptoms had started 2 months after a meeting with that old friend over lunch, who she hadn't spoken to in decades. Talk about a pain in the heart. The same day I helped that client resolve her painful past experience over the phone, a mother brought her 9-year-old daughter to see me for some issues, and it turned out that very day, the little girl's best friend told her at school that she didn't want to be friends anymore and the girl was devastated. What a wonderful thing it was to be able to use HMR to help her release her emotion right away, so she wouldn't have to carry it forward in her life. Imagine the possibilities. My clients have been getting amazing results for everything from boredom to problems with sexual and physical abuse. So tell your family, tell your friends, you don't have to keep carrying your old emotional baggage around any longer. Call me for a free phone consultation. Stop suffering and be happier now. I'd love to hear from you.